Z, now accused of raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000 along with Sean Diddy Combs. Now, this lawsuit was originally filed back in October in the Southern District of New York, listing Diddy as the defendant. But it was just refiled today to include Jay Z now, whose real name is Sean Carter. Of course, he's the husband of Beyonce. The anonymous accuser alleging the assault occurred after she was driven to an after party following the MTV Video Music Awards. The suit says she was offered a drink that made her feel, quote, woozy, lightheaded, and felt like she needed to lie down. Shortly after, the suit claims Jay-Z and Diddy entered the room where she was resting, eventually sexually assaulting her. And now, just in the last hour, we are hearing from Jay-Z and his team of lawyers. They are denying the claim and say that they are the victims of blackmail, saying, quote, I will not give you one red penny, and my only heartbreak is for my family. Joining us now to break this all down as it's happening, News Nation Law and Justice.
All right. Stop there for now. All right. Any early thoughts before we jump on this?
Jaguar Wright has everything that she's predicted on who's next. It seems like it's coming to fruition, and I know they got that interview with Pierce Morgan where he issued that apology. But look, celebrities playing around with little kids, unfortunately, is nothing new. There's been rock artists. Even Belle Biv DeVoe has the song "Backstage" underage. Like, people talk about this in their music all the time. That being said, this is a very serious accusation. I was a little bit harder on Diddy. I'm kind of playing the wait and see approach with Jay-Z because he's fighting it so hard. But ultimately, if he did it, I don't have any sympathy for people that commit crimes against children. He should get the worst possible punishment for that. If he didn't do it, then we really have to call into play the credibility of all of these Me Too people that are bringing up these lawsuits years and years after it happened.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I am with it right now. I kind of just have to wait and see, because believe me, anybody just that you don't know just off of their word alone is crazy. And I know that's going to be offensive to a lot of women, but I don't know who this girl is, and I don't know Jay-Z. So I can't choose sides in this. I just got to wait and see what evidence comes out, and I'll decide based on that.
Yeah. So the person that filed the claim is Tony Busby. And I thought that name sounded familiar. He was the attorney that represented the women against Oh Boy in Cleveland with the massage therapist. What was that guy's name?
Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Okay. Yeah. So he was that attorney, and he got those. He some would call it justice, and he got them paid. So for this attorney to add this person on here, here's what I want to see. And this is a great example of why men need to be stronger advocates for other men when it comes to stuff like this. Otherwise, anybody can just say anything against you. Because as of right now, Jay-Z has his name is attached to this, whether it comes where they drop it or nothing comes out of it. And if they do come out of it, yeah, he definitely needs to go to jail. But as of right now, his name is smeared with this, as well as Beyonce's name as well too. And Jay-Z has had some history circulating, or at least there are rumors circulating around this. Like when he met Beyonce, when he was when he started collaborating with, who was it, Foxy Brown. Which I didn't realize that these women were underage. Like, that's mind blowing to me. Like, nothing ever.
He wrote her entire first album, that Il Nana album. Jay-Z wrote that album.
Yeah, and she wasn't even 18 at the time. So, right. And then I heard there was the accusations with Aaliyah. So again, a lot of these underage women that are getting involved with some of these celebrities. Also, I want to say, where are the parents in this? Like, why are the parents not held any responsibility to any of this? Like, the parent, I mean, I can understand if you want to sue Jay-Z or Diddy, fine. You should be suing your parents, because parents, definitely negligence. And in a world where you sue for anything, like, do you know about the Nirvana baby?
No.
The cover with the baby in the swimming pool that's naked. Here, let me show you a picture. But the baby in that picture was some kid, and he actually sued his parents because he was like, I didn't give you permission to do anything of that, and he was trying to get money out of them. Now they threw the case out. But that's another situation where the parents probably didn't think that the baby, actually, I'm not going to show it, matter of fact, because who knows what YouTube will do it, if they'll copyright it, because again, it's just a baby. But I don't know. Anyways, the point is, the kid, once he got grown up, he sued his parents for that because they put him on that cover without his permission, even though he was a baby. The point is, anybody that can come into a lawsuit towards you, and you have to defend it, unfortunately. Everybody knows Jay-Z has the money, and I don't know how this is going to shake out, though, because again, if Jay-Z, what is winning for Jay-Z? Because you can clear your name, but it's always going to be a stain on your name, and people are going to think that you did it. So I'm waiting for more information to come out. Just like I was with Diddy, because I was like, man, Cassie, it sounds like this is a money grab, because why didn't she say anything before? And she got in right before that Adult Survivors Act was supposed to expire. And again, they didn't do any criminal charges. So this was filed in New York. Actually, I don't know where it's filed, but why didn't they come forward back before the Adult Survivors Act expired? They could have filed criminal charges at that time, but they didn't. So I don't know what the gameplay is. And this guy is he seems to be a reputable attorney, so he must have something. Uh,
Yeah.
so whoever is coming after him, I think you should have to disclose your identity, because that's kind of messed up, though. Like, you cannot be coming out here and saying somebody did something to me, and then let this man get dragged in public court of public opinion, and then it doesn't work in your favor, and you get to go back to your normal life. That's what happened with the Kobe Bryant Colorado case. Nobody knows. I mean, you have to really look to see who that woman was, but no one knew who she was for the most part. And like, protect the identity, blah blah blah. Look, this man, Kobe's name got dragged in the mud, and Jay-Z's name's getting dragged in the mud. So I know that went in a settlement of some sort, but that's not a conviction. That's just, hey, I'm ready for this to go away. It's a distraction, and I want to be done with it. And so with Jay-Z, he's definitely gonna have to fight it. That it's the right amount of energy, because he says this is a shakedown. But good luck, man. Good luck.
Yeah, I'm glad you redirected the attention on the parents, because I feel like when all these conversations happen, they get let off the hook for some reason.
Oh yeah.
There's a movie called The Sound of Freedom. It's a really good movie, but I can only watch it once because the stuff that happens on there is horrible. But
Oh yeah.
it brings me to the point that a lot of these parents are silly. They know what's going on, and they'll intentionally lead their kids into it on the hopes of them getting the come up on the back end.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to keep the spotlight on some of these goofy parents that don't even deserve to have kids, while there's actual people that deserve kids that can't have them right now. That's number one.
Yeah.
Like you said, number two, like you said before with Jay-Z, win or lose, he's got that scarlet letter on him now. Doesn't matter if he defends this off. It's stuck with him. Just like the Duke lacrosse players. Remember all those accusations thrown at them? And we found out later on that chick was lying, but a lot of people still were on their necks after that decision was reversed.
I mean, yeah, it's probably 20 years later, like nobody remembers it, but a simple Google search, you'll find it.
Yeah, and this is the thing about women that I'll never understand. I've had multiple women explain this to me over and over again, but I'm just not capable of understanding this. Why wait to file a lawsuit or to inform the authorities? And I get a lot of people will lecture me about, the fear and the stigmas, and they're scared that nobody will believe them.
Mhm.
Sometimes you just got to say F all that and just throw it out there like, look, this
Yeah.
happened and something needs to be done about this. I try to be empathetic when these women, because usually when I make a statement like this, there's someone who ends up yelling at me and calling me out my name. But I really don't understand the concept of waiting, because even if I'm scared to do something and I know it needs to be done, my instinct is to do it. But I guess I'm comfortable knowing that I'll never understand everything about women, and I don't want to blame this person and make them a victim, because I really don't know what happened.
Yeah.
When two people have a conflict that I don't know, again, the default for me is to look at the fruit that that tree bears. So I look at the people that Jay-Z has worked with over the years and some of the things that they've said about him, and it's been mixed reviews. There's been stories like this about him for years. So I don't know. At some point, if you really believe like what you do to dark will come to light, then that's what's going to happen here, and it'll all come out. And maybe, just maybe, people will start worshiping celebrities finally and realize that these, whether he did this or not, it doesn't change the fact that most celebrities are weirdos, and I don't know why people worship them.
Yeah. And the other thing too, this is a great example of, people just don't know what their teenage daughters are doing. And the parents, they definitely deserve some culpability, but for a lot of men, I mean, 13 years old, I felt like I was still playing like video games. Like, how do you find yourself in that situation? Like, say the parents are obviously negligent. Fine, I got it. But as a 13-year-old and you're around all these adults, either you had a handler that set you up or you were just, hey, I'm just going to do whatever I want. Like, there's a lot of things to go around, but I just don't understand like how some of these kids are getting caught up. Like, with Justin Bieber, like where his parents just dropped Justin Bieber off at Diddy's place. Like, you just drop your kid off and you're expecting like nothing bad is going to go wrong or they won't take advantage of your kid. Like, again, the parents need to be held accountable as well too, because I'm surprised there's no law against something like that. Even with the Michael Jackson case, I just thought of that one as well too, where the mom was trying to do a shakedown on MJ, and come to find out she was lying and she coached the kid.
Yeah,
Like, and we don't know who that mom even looks like. That's a crazy thing. We don't know who they look like, and there's a reason. Like, you need to have these people faces on the front page because so we know who they are, and so people can start saying like, that person we can't, that person can't be trusted, or that person's already had a history of stuff like this. Like, they spend too much time. There was probably a time where you had to protect the victims, but now we are at that point where anybody's saying anything without any evidence, and this is not a good thing for men, because you don't know who you're going to be in the next 10, 15, 20 years, and somebody out of the blue can come out and just say you did something you didn't do, and you gotta do a settlement, and there's no repercussions. The person loses the case and they just, well, I lost the case. Yeah, you win some, you lose some, and they move on. You got to repair your name and repair whatever damage, or if your kids find out like, oh my god, dad did this, that's never gonna leave your kids' mind. No money is gonna ever fix that situation.
yeah. And this is, I'm hoping the women have some sort of understanding of why it's very important to remain neutral until the facts come out. Because
Yes.
anytime I hear believe all women, the first thing that pops in my head is Brian Banks. I don't know if you remember Brian Banks. He was the high school football player that got accused of rape. He went to prison for 5 years.
Yes.
The lady that accused him ended up lying and tried to reach out to him and apologize, and he kept the messages and the notes. I think her name was Winetta something, but
Hmm.
he kept the messages and he showed proof that she was reaching out and apologizing, saying that she lied and messed up his life. This is a very, if he's guilty of this, it's a very permanent stain. And
Yeah.
when you make statements like this person is a rapist or this person is racist, that's a serious accusation. So we have to take our time and make sure what you're saying is actually true.
Or,
And
or,
you can't play with stuff like this.
or if somebody calls you a PDF, like, I get it. This is going to upset the K Dot fans, but Drake had to fire back. If he didn't, it was going to look bad on him. Like, again, some questionable things, but again, if you ain't got no evidence and you just spouting off, you just putting down the lyric, you guys. I wish he had drew up a lawsuit, filed a lawsuit for that, because that's way more egregious than your label skimming off your streams.
Yeah. And one thing about Jigga, he's definitely got the money to put together the best legal team ever to push back on this.
Yeah.
And I think it's only a civil suit. They're not even
Yeah.
going out there for criminal charges. So
Nope.
again, I'm gonna just sit back and just see what happens. But as a father, I'm telling you, if he's guilty of all of this stuff, then I have no sympathy for any punishment he gets.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not sure if you heard about the one case. Let me see if I can pull it up. But there was they disclosed the woman that filed a lawsuit against Diddy, And at the time, I think she was underage as well too. And this is a white chick who was with the I hate to say black hockey player, but there's only a few that people know. If I let me find a picture of him real quick, but he's actually a pretty good hockey player too. I mean, he's kind of a journeyman. Evander Kane, there we go. So Evander Kane is a hockey player whose ex-wife was the woman that filed the lawsuit against Diddy, who was stuck in the who was underage and that he took advantage of her, blah blah blah. And let me see if I can get a picture of her. But yeah, that's another example of like a woman said she was underage and getting the premise of Diddy. I was like, and not to mention, not just Diddy though. What about all the other adults in the room? Like, you can't be hanging around little kids at a party.
And they all knew Jeffrey Epstein too, by the way. So this ain't looking too good so far.
Yeah, that definitely par for the course. Yeah, Anna Kane, and which I did look up Anna Kane, and she got some shady things in her past too. So if anything, this may help Diddy because Evander Kane and her, they went through some crazy ordeal. Like, he had one kid with her, which, real quick, men, be careful who you pick. Well, actually, you can't even be careful nowadays because no matter who you pick, they can turn out to be crazy 10 years later.
And like women lie about their past so much. I said this before and I say it again. They are having more sex and more experiences than we are. So you're never going to surpass the amount of things that she's seen.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, that's just what it is. Now, me personally, since we brought up Evander Kane, as soon as I found out she was hanging around Diddy and at Diddy parties, I'm like, I don't know about that one. You certainly ain't getting no ring out of me, but
Yep, this is her right here. This is her underage who was drugged and everything and assaulted. Like, I just don't know how the parents are allowing their kids to be in this vicinity, and then how some of these, like, again, this is kind of another conversation that fathers got to start having with their daughters, and or at least knowing where their daughters are going. And it's probably a little bit easier nowadays because you got phones and everything. But no matter what you're doing, there's always probably some adult man trying to talk to your kid. It's unfortunate. And some kids are pretty resilient. They know how to get around that stuff. They know who to say, like, oh yeah, you're POS. But yeah, this is all kinds of messed up though. But we gotta wait till all the facts come out.
Yeah, according to USA Today, this Anna Kane lady is the primary accuser. At least she was in the Diddy case. They still
Mhm.
haven't identified the one in the Jay-Z case.
Yeah, so I'm sure they will though too, because at the end of the day, like I said, you have to be able to, these accusers have to be available to the public so we know who they are and what they're saying. Because again, I wouldn't have known anything about Anna Kane. I saw some people talk about her in the comments, and then they were saying like she has a history of I mean, again, this trim little Kaylee creating violence for like Evander Kane, and she was one of the few women that met with Diddy. It's crazy how things turn out for people, or how things play out down the road as you get older. So
Yeah, man, that celebrity life, I don't want no parts of it. Yeah, keep me away.
all right, we got one more topic for y'all.